Let's start with the NDLA, which is the new plan being unveiled by the agency, the plan to tackle drug cartels and protect the environment from the adverse effects of illicit drug cultivation. You know, in recent times, if you look at that agency, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency under the leadership of Marwa, that's Brigadier General Marwa, is been taking up drug cartels in recent times. You agree with me that one of the dangerous responsibilities or one of the danger portfolios you can have is to be the chairman of that agency, because it's not a tea party.
Yes.
To take up drug cartels is not a joke.
Because the peddlers are not smiling with you.
In fact, they are so organized that, you know, they have influence, they have the money, and so for you to take up that responsibility is not a joke. Sam, what do you think?
Under the leadership of Buba Marwa, Brigadier, has been on top of his job, and the fight in recent time has been very consistent in terms of going underground to see how he can tackle the drug cartels. And the recent development is ways of finding a way to see how those who farm, some of those who in trying to see how he tackles drug. Drug is a major menace to national development, and I think they are doing very well, and there's a renewed vigor in terms of how they tackle the men who are in those underground cartels, trying to see how drugs are removed from the society. I think it's great.
Yeah, I like it that the NDLA, according to the chairman, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, says that the agency is promoting evidence-based drug prevention treatment and care programs. Now, I am particular about the treatment and care program because for drug users, that's key. For some of them, they stay off drug for a while, but they return because I know it's an addiction and it's hard to get over, but because there is no consistency with the treatment plan and then there is no follow-up action. For some of them, once they leave maybe the government or whatever non-government organization rehabilitation center and they get back to their families or they get back to their own private space, nobody is there to actually hold them accountable to their abstinence from drug and their staying clean. So that treatment is actually very needed. We have a lot of people, if you go around the street, you find some persons who have become mentally deranged because of the abuse of drugs. So if that treatment plan can be very consistent and available for a lot of people, it will clear the streets of some of these people.
I also feel there's a need for the agency to do more, because if you look at the prevalence of drug abuse, you know, in the society, virtually every corner, you just see it being displayed as if it's a common good, you know. So there's a need for enforcement, for supervision, without leaving no stone unturned. You know, they know those people, and with what they've been doing in recent time, we are hoping they will continue with it, because you must understand that it's like a chain of group of people. It's like a big business, you know, not just in Africa, in other climes too, you know, countries like Mexico here and there, it's a big business. And so, but when you have a strong agency like NDLA, you know, it's up to its task. It's a way to deter those people from, you know, going ahead with this kind of business. And I'm happy in recent times, you know, he has shown commitment, he has shown courage, because it takes a man with a strong heart to be able to take up these people. In the past, we've not been recording cases like this, but in recent times, he's been able to, you know, show us that yes, in Nigeria could also be patriotic, could protect the interests of the country, and I hope he continues in that light.
Talk about round pegs in round holes.
Round holes, yeah, that's just the advantage. But Sam, do you still observe that even in spite of the activities of the agency like NDLA, in spite the orientation, you still have people engaging in illicit drug business? Why do you think it's still happening?
Use of substance, essentially. I think I just want to support the comment that Blessing made earlier. I think we need to do more on what you call psychosocial evaluations of those who use substance within a specific term. I think more evaluate them find a way to educate people, particularly from secondary school, create clubs in a way that you can provide adequate education on the negative impact of substance abuse, and find a way not to stigmatize those who has abused those drugs, and bringing them to society will help in a way that we can reduce the impact of illicit drugs.
And you know the interesting thing about this environment, or the kind of vegetation that we have, cannabis grow effortlessly, you know. And that's why, you know, it's a controlled thing. It's a controlled kind of farming. It's not for Dick and Harry. It's not for everyone. It's just for, you know, a selected few. And because it's being used for research, being used for scientific reasons. And that's why it's not left for all, you know. But because it's something that has to be done, and that's why the agency is also coming up with another special loan package for improved seedlings in order to be able to help, you know, cannabis farming, so that these things can be used positively to the growth of the society.
Well, we hope that is achieved. But I also think they should do also farm monitoring, because in the rural areas, that's where you even find some of these things happening, the growing, because nobody gets there. You just believe you're growing crops, but hey, it's a cannabis farm that they have. So more monitoring of the farms should happen. And I think that the government should also provide the NDLE officers with more equipment and whatever arms they may need, because it's a very risky venture, I'll put it that way, for you to combat drug traffickers, for you to combat people who are growing drugs. It's very dangerous. So they too need protection.
Yeah, so we have to say kudos to them,
yes,
and let them keep up the good work.
Yes.
All right, let's go to Edo State, where the governor has officially added new compressed natural gas buses to the existing one to boost the state's free transportation initiative. And the governor also launched 24-hour free Wi-Fi service in key public spaces, including ministries, departments, and agencies. You know, yesterday we were looking at the plight of Nigerian workers. You agree with me that due to the removal of subsidy and looking at the economic reality, Nigerian workers are going through hard times, you know, at this period. And so the governor of Edo State deems it fit to provide what we call palliative, part of the arrangement to ensure that you cushion the effect of the removal of subsidy. And this time around is providing free buses, not powered by petrol but gas, you know,
yes,
which is cheaper, and also to reduce the, you know, the cost of transportation. It's a way to make it easier for workers to move around, to move from their, you know, places of work to their various destinations, which I think is a good venture. And I hope other states' governors could also copy this, because the truth is, Nigerian workers are really struggling. With what we had yesterday, we had an extensive discussion looking at the plight of Nigerian workers. And if you go to various states, to even come to work every day is a challenge.
It's a challenge,
yeah,
yes.
You know. But what do you think about this development?
Kudos to Governor Godwin Obaseki. I think alternative energy is the way to go. We salute his initiative in this regard. But then, how sustainable is this project? Those are the key questions that we need to ask in the public space. So good initiative. How sustainable? We salute his courage for doing this, and we pray that other governors will imbibe his own ideas and see how that can be replicated in some other states.
Yeah, we commend the Edo State Governor, Governor Godwin Obaseki, and for the newly acquired vehicles, I know it's expensive to have that, and the conversion, because there was a time that former President Buhari actually came up with the initiative of having CNG vehicles, but then the conversion cost made it impossible for a lot of vehicles that were already running on petrol to have that happen. If we can have some conversion centers, maybe where government subsidizes too, for private individuals and for other commercial bus drivers, I think it will also go a long way beyond just providing free buses, because I don't know how the time schedule for these buses, if it runs on a particular time schedule, if there are particular routes that they also ply. or it's widespread around all the cities and all the local governments in Edo State. So I think such would also be helpful to other persons who may not be able to key into this.
I find it interesting, the free Wi-Fi. I know that will interest the young people.
Yes,
you know, it's been made available in public places, in ministries, in department. Because if you remove the cost of data from your expenses, also part of it.
Yeah, so some money has been saved for you.
Yeah. So what do you think about that development?
No, in terms of
ICT,
I think Governor Godwin Obaseki has been praising the tray. This one is just to confirm that the state is driven essentially going forward by technology. I think particularly youths, I think they will celebrate this, but I'm sure this is limited to public space.
Yes.
So that's good. Maybe that will even help in terms of e-governance and projecting the state as being ICT sensitive, and more consumers will be pulled in that direction. I think it's a welcome development, and we salute his effort in this regard.
I hope it will also encourage research, you know, access to Wi-Fi. For someone like me, the first thing that will come to my mind is research.
Well, you said someone like you, but we know we don't have someone like you a lot in this country. I think a lot of persons will want to use that for e-commerce. Yes. For those who have their businesses online, it'll just be an opportunity for them to do all they have to do there and convert it to a workspace. Even though the state has innovation hub that are like workspaces for those who do their work digitally. So I think that's what a lot of persons will do. Only a few will want to use that for research, because right now it's about stomach infrastructure. And so that's like top on the agenda for many Nigerians.
Do you think there's a need to encourage civil servants to start working remotely, you know, given the economic reality? At a point in Edo State, the governor gave instruction that they could work 3 times in a week. I don't know what is obtainable now, but due to the economic reality, do you think that should be an option? It should be considered?
It's at the discretion of those who manage the various states. I think in line with current reality, I think remote work has become an essential element of the work in the future. So the earlier we embrace those concepts of remote work, the better it is. But they need to recalibrate the work processes in line with the current reality of machines and artificial intelligence. I think that's a welcome development. But then it's at the discretion of the states, looking at their own reality, looking at their own workspace, and how remote work can impact on service delivery, particularly in Edo State.
All right. The train of analysis started with NDLEA. We went to Edo State. Now we're going to Borno State, where the World Health Organization has partnered with the Borno State government to initiate a 10-day polio vaccination campaign covering all the 27 local government areas in the state. The campaign aims to vaccinate over 2 million children, including those in hard-to-reach regions. You know, the concern now is the rate of polio in a state like Borno State due to the state of insecurity in that state. Access to that state has been a challenge. I like the fact that this initiative now is targeted towards those hard-to-reach regions, those villages, those remote areas where you hardly see the presence of government or the presence of health care. And it's very critical because at this time, you know, they are going through a lot. In fact, some of these people are displaced. Some of them are in IDP camps. And so you can imagine the kind of life they're living, the kind of, you know, situation they're exposed to. And now polio is being added to it. But I'm happy, you know, the World Health Organization is partnering with the Borno State governor. In recent time, that governor has been up and doing to ensure that he improves the welfare of people in that state. I'm happy with the fact that he's a professor, he's well read, he's well exposed, so he understands what needs to be done. In spite of the security challenges in that state, the man has remained focused. And now battling the issue of polio, you know, with this initiative, about 2 million children will be vaccinated. What do you think, sir?
Polio has been a major public health challenge. On the other hand, is equally a global health challenge. The initiative by the World Health Organization to partner with the Borno State government to look at over 2 million children, particularly in a remote part of the state, is welcoming. And I think that will be able to reduce the impact of polio in the state. And generally in northern Nigeria, polio has been a major challenge in the past. And I think going into Borno in particular and looking at rural communities to address 2 million children is something that is salutary. And I think we must salute the World Health Organization in partnership with the Borno State governor to stamp out the impact of polio, which is a dangerous public health issue, particularly in northern Nigeria.
This is Early Exchange, shaping policy, advancing development.